What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Club and Country. This is episode number 17, and we start today's episode off here with an international management offer, but it doesn't come from France, it comes from China, so of course we say no. And also Nice accepted a bid for Boskagli, which we put in the back end of last episode, for £2.7 million. Now, Boskagli is an 18-year-old centre-back, he's 73 overall, he's only 5'11", and I've said many times before, I like my centre-backs to be minimum 6 foot, but that's only 1 inch difference. It won't be too bad for us. Boskagli would be a really good signing for Paris FC. As a centre-back, 73 overall, he'd be our best in the team, and I think he'd be a really good choice for us as well. As a left-footed player, I always like at least one left-footed centre-back in my team. I don't know why, it's so trivial, but either way, Boskagli, you're for a contract there, and we shall wait and see what he says. And we take on Stade Reims for the first game of today's episode here, and the third game of the new season. We started the new season off in the last episode in terms of played games in the Ligue 1 season, and we won one and drew one as well. Drew away against Bordeaux in the season opener and then beat Montpellier by 3-1 in our second game of the new season. And coming to this one here against Stade Reims, our first home game of the new season, and 31 minutes in, we would take the lead through a familiar face. He didn't score in the first game against Bordeaux, he scored twice against Montpellier though, and he does score here as well for the third time this season. It's the skipper, it's the number 9, it's Thierry Ambrose, finessing the ball into the top corner. It's his trademark finish really. He got 37 goals last season. I don't think he'll score that many this season, but either way, he does make it Paris FC 1, Stade Reims 0 as we take the lead. In the 57th minute here, we had a great chance to make it 2-0 after some nice passing. Thierry Ambrose got through one-on-one, but his shot was well saved by the goalkeeper and eventually cleared away. And in the 71st minute here, the away side looked for an equalising goal as Ngog goes for goal, but it's a great save by Barmy though, and JJ heads it away. So a really good stop there by the 17-year-old goalkeeper, and from that we broke as well as Tristan finds Boga. He plays it through towards Dembele here, starting his first game for the club, rolls it through towards Thierry Ambrose, back to Dembele. Dembele plays it through towards Boga, who goes for goal, finds the back of the net as well, thinks he scored for the first time this season, but sadly Boga is denied his first goal this year by the linesman's flag. So great save by Barmy one end, we got the other on the counter attack. It's a good ball through by Dembele making his debut, but as you can see Boga was way offside and the linesman called it right. So still Paris FC 1, Stade Reims 1 as we went for the second goal to kill the game off. And the final chance of the game would fall here in the 83rd minute as Thierry Ambrose finds Cantini off the bench down the left hand side here. He rolls it through towards Tristan Dingome, back towards Cantini with the ball roll, back inside towards Tristan, rolls it through towards Boga. This is his chance for the goal, but sadly he was onside this time, but denied by a good save by the goalkeeper. But it was how the game would finish though. Paris FC 1, Stade Reims 0. So 3 games into the first season in Ligue 1 with Paris FC, and we've had 2 wins and 1 draw, and this is our first clean sheet as well. What a start to the season. If you could tell me it would have 7 points after our first 3 games in Ligue 1, I'd say yes please, I'm very happy with that, and that's exactly what we've got. Really fantastic start for us. A clean sheet there, the first one in the new season for Barmy. He's also growing to a 72 overall as well after some training here, so really good for that. He made a great save in that game as well. Really good to see that, and following that as well, even more good news. What a fantastic start for Paris FC. Everything is coming together really nicely here to begin the new season off. Boskagli accepts his contract at the first time of asking and comes in for £2.7 million. So another new signing. That takes our tally to 4 this season for new signings. And if you add the 2 pre-contract signings as well in Tristan and Martial, that's now 6 new players in total for the season. So in comes Boskagli. I have to say, despite being 5'11", which again is a little bit of a downside for me because I do like to have centre-backs who are at least 6 foot, he still looks really good, doesn't he? 73 overall, very nice stats already. 4-star weak foot as well is pretty cushy, looks pretty decent, I'm happy with that. And also the board as well gave us 350 grand after I requested some funds, so how about that? Unlike Racing Santander, who last year wouldn't even give us £10, if you can remember when I inquired about £10 last season in my last year's Club and Country save, Racing Santander said he couldn't afford that. Paris FC, a little bit more well off than Racing Santander, clearly. They give us £350,000, and that is good to see. I don't think we'll be signing any new players, to be honest, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll probably keep the money until January and just look at playing a pre-contract game like we did last season. Still, for the second game of today's episode here, we take on GFC Ajaccio away from home for our 4th game of the new season. Once again, going back on the road, but 8 minutes in, it was another really good save by Barmy to keep the score scoreless. What a great stop there once once again by our 17-year-old goalkeeper. And I said in the last episode, I've said in the new episodes this season, I'm putting all my faith and trust in the young goalkeeper, and he's got off to a really good start. Great save there, and it was still 0-0. Then Ambrose was denied by a good save with the goalkeeper, and in the 14th minute, Dingome goes for goal from range, but he puts the shot harmlessly wide of the post as it trickles behind for a goal kick. So still 0-0. In the 18th minute, though, another great chance for the home side. This shot going wide of the post and behind for a goal kick, and the final chance of the half would fall 5 minutes before the break as Tiam finds his Sacco down the right-hand side, takes it around his man with the body feint, plays a great ball over the top towards Dembele, who tries to head it into the back of the net, but can only put it wide and behind as he still goes in search of his first goal for his new club. So it was goalless at the break, but there were a lot of chances in the first half, but neither side was able to break the deadlock. But just 5 minutes after the restart, here's some disastrous news as Thierry Ambrose goes for a header and unfortunately gets taken down and eventually would be subbed off as well. So Ambrose, who's got a good start to the season, already 3 goals in 3 games, does get an injury there. He'd stay on the pitch for quite a while, but eventually we need to sub him off, and he's going to be out for 3 weeks. So not a disastrous injury by any means whatsoever. I mean, it could have been a lot longer than that, but either way, he'll still miss at least 1 game in the new month, but it's still a shame to see him get that because obviously Ambrose, the star of the team really, never good to see him pick up an injury. But still, it was goalless in this game. The home side did have a couple of chances in the second half, but not much was really happening until the 70th minute when we had a good chance here to take the lead. Sissaka goes down the right hand side, swings across into centre, and Tristan Dingome gets his first goal for the club, and what a goal it was as well. Absolutely superb. And out of all the new signings we've got so far in the Paris FC side, 6 new players in total, including the 2 pre-contract buys. I'm really liking the look of this guy. As a holding midfielder, he does a really, really solid job. He's one of those underrated players who, in terms of the stats, he'll never be looked upon too favourably. But in terms of performances, he always puts in a really, really good shift. It's only 4 games into the new season, but I'm really liking the look of this guy. He scores his first Paris FC goal, and what a goal it was. Spinning on the half volley, putting it into the top corner, and making it GFC Ajaccio 0, Paris FC 1. So 1 goal up in this game, and with 50 minutes to go here, Ambrose's last contribution to the game was almost to set up his teammate as he drills across to the centre, but then Dembele's shot was well saved with the goalkeeper as he still goes in search of his first goal for the club. So still 1-0 to Paris FC. 2 minutes before the end though, the home side almost nicked themselves an equalising goal, but Barmy makes a smart stop and keeps it at 1-0, and it was how the game would finish as well. Final score, GFC Ajaccio 0, Paris FC 1, and we win once again, and what a start to the new season with Paris FC. I mean, just absolutely incredible. 4 games in, 3 wins and a draw as well. That is 10 points from a possible 12, and don't get me wrong, this Paris FC side is more than capable of playing in the top tier of French football. It's a good side and everything, it really is, but to have 10 points from your opening 12 games, that's a really good start, especially when you consider the fact that 3 of the games have been away from home. So it's been a really, really strong start for Paris FC. We've made some good signings too. The 2 pre-contract buys in Martial and Tristan. Tristan in particular look really, really good. And also the 4 new players as well coming in on permanent deals. Say Maximin, Boscagli made his debut there, Dembele and Sissako as well. I'm liking the look of all of those 6 players, and when you also include the fact that Barmy this season, I'm putting all my faith and trust in the 17-year-old goalkeeper. He's just recording back-to-back clean sheets and putting in really good shifts ever since the opening day of the season. I'm really optimistic with this Paris FC side, and as you can see, deadline day ends here, as you saw we got some money from the board as well. We could have possibly bought 1 new player in that would be a squad player for us, but nothing other than that. So on deadline day, a pretty boring one, we just loan out one of our young 51 overall central midfielders to Motherwell for a 2-year loan deal. I decided not to buy any new players, and we're just going to wait until January and play the pre-contract game once again, just like last season. This Paris FC side, I'm not someone who tends to be too cocky or too arrogant or anything, and too boastful and bashful when it comes to our chances of possibly finishing higher than what I usually say. And at the start of the season, I did say that I'd say 10th, 11th, 12th was the best we could hope for, but I know it's only 4 games in, but I'm going to go back on my word and actually say, do you know what? Forget that. 6th, 7th, 8th, that's probably achievable in my opinion. I'd say that 10th, 11th, 12th is more realistic and more likely, early, but I don't think there's any reason as to why we couldn't finish in a 6th, 7th or 8th, or around that place finish for Paris FC, because we had a great start to the season. I like using these players. I like the 3-5-2 this year. In my opinion, I don't see why we can't be pushing for those sort of places come the end of the season, and I think this could be a memorable one as our first season with Paris FC in Ligue 1. We'll have to wait and see though. It has been a great start though, no one can deny that, as things look really, really bright with Paris FC early on. That does it in the episode though, guys, so thank you very much for watching the video. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you enjoyed today's episode of Club and Country, then please do leave a like, and I'll see you for the next episode of Club and Country very soon.